On the young and the restless, stability is never permanent, especially when it involves someone like Adam Newman, whose entire life has been defined by reversals, betrayals, and revelations that arrive without warning. The possibility that Adam could soon receive shocking news feels less like speculation and more like inevitability, because in Genoa City peace is rarely allowed to exist without a cost. A life-altering revelation has the potential to upend Adam's carefully rebuilt world, particularly now that his relationship with Chelsea Lawson has reached a level of steadiness neither of them once believed possible. For years, Adam and Chelsea were defined by chaos, manipulation, shared guilt, and passionate destruction. Now, however, their bond feels different, more mature, more intentional, almost fragile in its sincerity. That fragility is precisely what makes Chelsea anxious. She fears that marrying again, formalizing their love, might somehow trigger the very disaster she has worked so hard to avoid. Chelsea's fear is not irrational. She knows her history with Adam is complicated by trauma, secrets, and painful memories. She worries that by embracing happiness too fully, she might tempt fate. It is as though she senses that in soap opera logic, contentment is merely the calm before a storm. She has finally reached a place where she and Adam communicate honestly, support one another, and build something resembling stability. The idea of a catastrophic twist arriving now feels almost cruel, yet she cannot shake the sense that something is coming. In her quiet moments, she questions whether their past can truly remain buried or whether unresolved threads are waiting to resurface. Adam, for his part, appears committed and grounded in a way that once seemed impossible. He has fought to redefine himself, to prove that he is capable of love without manipulation, ambition without cruelty, but Adam's past has never been content to stay silent. A shocking revelation, whether it concerns an old secret, a hidden connection, or a consequence of actions long forgotten, could destabilize the foundation he and Chelsea have constructed. The mere possibility introduces tension. Would Adam handle the news with transparency, or would instinct push him towards secrecy in a misguided attempt to protect Chelsea? That choice alone could determine whether their relationship withstands the coming storm. In long-running dramas, obstacles are not optional, they are structural. When a couple remains stable for an extended period, narrative gravity demands disruption. For Adam and Chelsea, that disruption appears poised to intersect with another looming thread, the impending trip involving Adam and Nick Newman. The notion of the two brothers traveling together is charged with symbolism. Their dynamic has always oscillated between rivalry and reluctant solidarity. Placing them in a new setting, particularly one as loaded with history and temptation as Las Vegas, suggests more than a simple change of scenery. It signals confrontation with each other, with external threats, and perhaps with buried aspects of Adam's own past. Behind-the-scenes hints about a Las Vegas storyline only deepen the intrigue. The city itself carries narrative weight for Adam, representing past misdeeds, risky alliances, and decisions made in desperation. If Matt Clark is indeed connected to this setting, the convergence becomes even more combustible. Matt's reappearance has already unsettled Nick, and introducing Adam into that orbit creates a volatile triangle of history, resentment, and unresolved conflict. Las Vegas, a city built on illusion and high-stakes gambles, becomes the perfect backdrop for secrets to surface. This development offers a powerful opportunity for the show to weave present tension into Adam's complicated history. Any shocking news Adam receives could be tied to events from years ago, perhaps a business maneuver with unforeseen consequences, a personal betrayal that was never fully exposed, or a connection to Matt that neither Nick nor Chelsea anticipated. Such a revelation would not merely create external obstacles, it would force Adam to confront the version of himself he has tried so hard to outgrow. For Chelsea, the fear of impending disaster would suddenly feel justified. Her anxiety about marriage would shift from abstract dread to concrete reality. If Adam becomes entangled in danger or scandal during the Las Vegas trip, she may question whether stability with him is ever truly sustainable. Yet adversity could also serve as a test of their growth. If Adam chooses transparency, if he confronts the revelation without reverting to old patterns, their relationship might emerge stronger. Conversely, if secrecy and pride resurface, the damage could be irreparable. The parallel between Nick's struggle with addiction and Adam's potential crisis creates an undercurrent of thematic tension. Both brothers stand on uncertain ground, both facing threats that stem as much from internal vulnerability as from external enemies. A Las Vegas storyline involving Matt Clark could act as the catalyst that forces these threads together. In a city synonymous with risk, one impulsive decision could ripple outward, affecting not only Adam and Chelsea but the broader Newman family dynamic. Ultimately, the possibility of a life-changing revelation for Adam is less about shock value and more about transformation. Will it dismantle the fragile peace he and Chelsea have achieved, or will it prove that growth is real and enduring? Soap operas thrive on the tension between hope and catastrophe. For Adam and Chelsea, standing at the edge of renewed commitment, the looming trip to Las Vegas suggests that fate is preparing to test them in ways neither can fully anticipate. And if Matt Clark emerges there, bridging past and present, the gamble will not be financial but emotional, forcing Adam to stake everything he has rebuilt on whether he truly has become the man he claims to be. On the young and the restless, the past is never merely backstory, it is a dormant force waiting for the right moment to reassert itself. And for Adam Newman, that dormant force may very well be Las Vegas. Long before he re-emerged in Genoa City in 2019, before he fought to reclaim his place within the Newman dynasty and redefine himself in the eyes of Chelsea Lawson, Adam lived under a different identity, navigating a different world, answering to the nickname Spider. That version of him was sharper around the edges, less tethered to family expectations, more immersed in risk, deception, and survival. If Adam and Nick now find themselves heading back to Las Vegas under the pretense of tracking down Matt Clark, the journey isn't likely to remain confined to its original purpose. Adam may need to reach out to former contacts, old associates who knew Spider rather than the man he has become, because in Vegas, history is currency, and connections forged in shadows often resurface when danger calls. Reconnecting with that network could already be destabilizing, but the true volatility lies in the possibility that Adam might unexpectedly cross paths with someone far more personal. A former lover from his Spider days. Las Vegas is a city built on fleeting intensity, on nights that blur into mornings, on relationships formed in adrenaline and abandoned in haste. If Adam encounters a woman who once knew him intimately, who remembers not the reformed businessman and devoted partner but the reckless survivor he once was, the impact would ripple outward immediately. Even if nothing romantic reignites, the mere presence of a beautiful, confident woman tied to Adam's past could awaken Chelsea's deepest insecurities. Chelsea has fought hard to believe in the version of Adam who stands beside her now, the man who claims he has changed, the partner who communicates rather than manipulates. Seeing tangible evidence of his former life might force her to confront a fear she has long suppressed, that the past is not as distant as she hoped. Yet the stakes could rise even further if this reunion uncovers something neither Adam nor Chelsea anticipated. No one can completely dismiss the possibility that Adam left more behind in Las Vegas than just an alias. When he walked away from Spider and returned to Genoa City, determined to reclaim his place in the Newman legacy, he may have unknowingly left behind a consequence that had not yet revealed itself. The idea that Adam could have a secret child conceived during that turbulent chapter of his life and never disclosed to him feels like precisely the kind of revelation that could detonate the fragile stability he now enjoys. It would not be malicious concealment on his part but ignorance, a blind spot born of a chaotic existence where survival often took precedence over permanence. Imagine the emotional shock if, during what was meant to be a focused mission to confront Matt Clark, Adam is confronted instead by the existence of a son or daughter he has never met. The confusion alone would be overwhelming. Adam has spent years wrestling with his own complicated relationship with fatherhood, with the shadow of Victor Newman looming over every decision he makes. Learning that he unknowingly replicated that pattern absent not by choice but by circumstance would strike at the core of his identity. Connor, the son he cherishes and protects, could suddenly have a half-sibling, a living reminder of a past Adam believed he had closed. The psychological impact would extend beyond surprise. It would force Adam to reevaluate every narrative he has constructed about growth, accountability, and redemption. Chelsea's response would be equally layered. On one hand, she might empathize with the shock Adam experiences, recognizing that this revelation is not the result of current betrayal but past chaos. On the other hand, the presence of a former lover who withheld such life-altering information could ignite fear. Would Adam feel drawn back toward that chapter? Would he feel guilt so profound that it reorients his priorities? Chelsea's greatest anxiety has always been that stability with Adam is temporary, that some unforeseen catastrophe will undo their progress. A secret child surfacing in Las Vegas would transform that anxiety into tangible reality. Marriage, which already frightens her because of the permanence it represents, might suddenly feel impossible if their foundation is shaken by unresolved history. From a narrative standpoint, the Las Vegas trip offers the perfect convergence point for past and present. It begins ostensibly as a strategic move to locate Matt Clark, aligning Adam once again with Nick in a shared objective. Yet the city's symbolism risk, reinvention, hidden identities suggests a deeper reckoning awaits. The mission to confront Matt could easily morph into something far more personal. Adam might find himself juggling multiple crises at once: Nick's volatile state of mind, the reappearance of a former lover, and the revelation of a child who carries his DNA but not his memories. Such a twist would also mirror the thematic struggles within the Newman family. Victor's legacy has always revolved around complicated paternal dynamics, secret children, and emotional distance. For Adam to discover he unknowingly followed in those footsteps would be both ironic and tragic. It would test whether he truly has broken free from inherited patterns or merely reshaped them under different circumstances. Connor's world, too, would shift. The introduction of a half-sibling could bring curiosity, jealousy, or even a sense of betrayal, depending on how the truth unfolds. The question then becomes whether this development would ultimately fracture Adam and Chelsea or fortify them. If Adam handles the revelation with transparency and humility, acknowledging his past without defending it, he may prove to Chelsea that he is not Spider anymore. But if guilt pushes him toward secrecy or if unresolved emotions toward his former lover resurface, the cracks in their relationship could widen quickly. Soap operas thrive on the collision between history and aspiration, and Adam embodies that collision more than most. In other words, a trip that begins as a calculated pursuit of Matt Clark could spiral into a confrontation with identity, legacy, and responsibility. Las Vegas may not simply serve as a backdrop for danger, it may act as the crucible in which Adam's transformation is tested. The possibility of a troublesome ex-girlfriend and an illegitimate child emerging from his Spider era feels almost inevitable in a city that never forgets what it has witnessed. Whether this revelation destroys what Adam has built or becomes the final proof that he has truly changed will determine not only his future with Chelsea but the trajectory of the Newman family itself.